You know, life is very interesting. And there's one aspect of life that many people discover when it is too late. Wrong decisions and bad strategy tend to accumulate. And while you're piling them up, things may look very normal in your camp. Things may look very normal in your life. It would seem that this is what is unfolding on the mighty UDA party and the bid of one William Ruto for the presidency of the Republic of Kenya. Let me expand on that. And let's start with real life situations. You know, destiny unfolds quietly. Major decisions that you make in your life are done quietly, sometimes in secret. Nobody goes to a rooftop and blows a trumpet. No. It all happens quietly. Wrong decision in marriage, wrong decision in career. You choose a career that you don't like, but you choose a career that has the most money, etc., etc. And then one day, many decades later, it all falls apart. The pressure in the marriage you should never have been in catches up with you. The pressure of being in a profession that you hate and that you went into only for the money also catches up with you. Perhaps sometimes, unfortunately, at about the same time. I think you get my gist. That person will be kwisha maneno. Even if they're still alive, they'll just be a walking shell of themselves. And this is precisely the same in every aspect of life, including politics. And even as I've gotten the latest information that has made me sit up and pay attention, I'm here kicking myself. Why did I not see it? Because all the telltale signs were there. For instance, the Deputy President went on the rampage in the Mount Kenya region. Somebody asked me, Chris, you need to analyze this. The Deputy President is campaigning up to 10 p.m. at night in the Mount Kenya region. Chris, you don't smell anything here? And I ignored. And so many other telltale signs emerged all over the place. And what did I do? I said to myself, let us see how this unfolds. It could go either way. And then most recently, a letter has emerged on social media. Allegedly a letter written by a UDA blue-eyed boy from Ranga, Senator Kangata. The long and short of that letter is the senator complaining to the Deputy President that they're losing it, especially in the Mount Kenya region. Of course, I'm still trying to verify the authenticity of that letter. But looking back now, I should have taken all that has happened and put them together. And it tells us a story. Even before we verify the authenticity of that letter, which tells it all, already there was a pattern developing. Bottom line, the question that must now be asked is a shocking question, and it is the following. Will the UDA party and the Kenya Kwanza coalition make it to the August 9th general elections? Will they reach there? Now, I know that is a shocking question, but that's a question we need to ask now. And because of what is unfolding, that is a very realistic and important question to ask. But let us back up a little, and look at this thing a little more deeply. And let us focus on the mistakes the Deputy President's campaign has made so far that has led us to the current situation where the truth of the matter is that the UDA party and the Kenya Kwanza coalition are in serious trouble. And that is the truth. Number one, it is now becoming very clear that the decision by the Deputy President to have the Mount Kenya region at the core of his strategy to win the presidency, that was a mistake. Why was it a mistake? Well, I've covered this in a previous video. It involved invading his boss's backyard, President Uhuru Kenyatta's backyard. And you don't do that. In battle, in war, you don't do that. And politics is just war. It's a battle. Why? Because people in another place, another home, another region will always circle the wagons when push comes to shove. What is circling the wagons? Well, in the old days, we used to have caravans. A motorcade, so to speak, of carriages drawn by horses. That's how people used to travel. And when they sensed danger, what would they do? They would form circles with their carriages, put their horses and all their valuables in the middle, and of course the people. And then the men would remove their rifles, and using the wagons as a shield, wait for the attack or whatever danger they have sensed. What is becoming very clear right now is that the Mount Kenya region, and especially the House of Mumbi, seem to be preparing to go into a formation that can be described as circling the wagons. And what exactly has triggered this? In my view, there's been a lot of pressure on the UDA campaign team and on the campaign team of the Deputy President. As Team Azimio have carried out their well-laid plans, bila haraka, in sequence, step by step by step. And the campaigns on the ground have gone the same way, because we all know the region has been hostile towards President Uhuru Kenyatta. And so what Team Azimio has done has been to try and change the narrative in the region slowly, not very quickly, step by step by step. Now the result is the Deputy President's camp has felt the heat. And in feeling the heat, they have made some rash decisions. I'd almost say desperate decisions, which have just made matters worse. Let me give you an example. In life, you cannot go into the home of somebody else and start insulting a hated member of that home. Yes, this particular member of the family is hated. People can't stand him. And therefore you take advantage of that. You go into the home and you start slandering that person, hurling insult at that person. how do you think that family is going to respond? And it doesn't matter how much they hate this person who is one of their own. Human nature tells me that they will quickly gather around this hated member of their family and defend them against an outsider. That's natural. It's human nature. The strategy by the Deputy President to go into the Mount Kenya region and badmouth and point out the failures of one of their own, President Uhuru Kenyatta, was clearly a terrible blunder. This, of course, culminated with the recent attacks on the former First Lady, Maangi Kenyatta, in response to what she said at a small funeral in Gatundu of her cousin, and what was meant to be an address to the members of the House of Mumbi, trying to put the house in order. Let me put it this way. It's like members of a family gather together to discuss an issue, and then you as an outsider comes in and starts contributing to that discussion. What do you think the reaction of that family will be? But in this case, it was even worse. The Deputy President's camp came in and started hurling insults, barbs, at the former First Lady. Now the backlash of that is still unfolding on the UDA camp. And you can't convince me that it will not affect their alleged popularity, current popularity, in the Mount Kenya region. You can't convince me that it will have zero effect on the UDA campaign in the Mount Kenya region. Let's move on to something else. In my view, the strategy of the Deputy President's camp, right from the beginning, to make decisions emotionally, to come up with strategy emotionally, was a huge mistake. And let's start from the beginning. It became clear that President Uhuru Kenyatta was not going to keep his promise to support the Deputy President for the presidency in 2022. So the response of the Deputy President's camp was very emotional. Let's come up with a strategy. Let's show him that he knows nothing and we know everything. Let's show him that we are the main brains here. We were the main brains in the original Jubilee. Let us teach the president a lesson. That was the attitude. All emotional. And initially, the emotions helped to drive home the message to the people of Mount Kenya that actually the Uhuru Kenyatta government had messed them up. It had messed their businesses. It had messed so many things in their lives. The raw emotion by the people launching this campaign touched the raw emotion of the people on the ground. And it all quickly came together. And suddenly, the president was facing hostility in his own backyard. But you see, the problem with coming up with a plan or a strategy when you're emotional is that you don't think things through. You don't look at the end game. You don't look at the long term or even the medium term. What you're interested in is immediate gratification. Yani hasira yako ipoe, sasa ile unaona umetoboa. That's really what it is. And you forget that sometimes emotions change. Because for instance, that member of our family, that member of our community whom we don't like, it is very likely that somewhere down the road we'll come back to our senses and we'll say to ourselves, yes, so and so messed us up. Lakini ni mtu wetu. It belongs to us. We can't abandon them. Yeah. And then suddenly the ground shifts. I believe this is precisely what is beginning to happen in the Mount Kenya region. Another fatal error, so that we learn going forward. Those who are interested in learning can learn. Those who want to brush it aside emotionally can do so. One other fatal error that was made was to rely on tactics and moves that the enemy is familiar with. What do I mean? In 2017, the Jubilee Party then, united as one, used social media, and the influence of social media very heavily in their campaign against Raila Odinga, in those presidential elections. At the time, the members of the Jubilee Party that are now on the other side, against UDA, were insiders. So they saw everything. They knew how everything was working. And then now, with a split within Jubilee, that saw the Deputy President run off with his own people, the Deputy President's camp continued to use exactly the same tools and even the same characters, in a very similar campaign. Now you tell me if that is not a mistake. Because the other side knows you very well. The other side knows the tactics very well. The chances of frustrating those tactics is very easy. I mean, it is very easy to see that, especially in retrospect. And so, if we can just sum it all up, the situation right now is that the bedrock, the previous bedrock of UDA support, which was also a major psychological victory and a victory of perception, which is support from the Mount Kenya region, the president's backyard. That particular aspect of William Samuel Ruto's campaign seems to be coming down, crashing, collapsing like a house of cards. So what does that leave the Deputy President with? It leaves William Samuel Ruto only with the Rift Valley, as a place where he's sure he has support. The rest of the country, which he has not paid as much attention to as he has the Mount Kenya region, is very tricky ground right now. And in my opinion, will get trickier for the Deputy President as the general elections draw closer. Is it possible for the Deputy President's camp to turn around the situation? Is it possible for them to save the ship? That is a fair question. In my opinion, it is going to be very, very difficult, to save the situation, especially now, barely 5 months to the presidential elections, barely 4 months and a few days to the general elections, to the presidential elections. The time is too short to start doing some brand new groundwork. But I could be wrong. The Deputy President could very easily surprise us all. Why don't we just wait and see? Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha. Out of all the political books I've ever written, and there are quite a number, Dark Secrets of the Kenyan Presidency stands out as an amazing bestseller. Yeah. And also many consider it a classic because it takes a look at the office of the Presidency of the Republic of Kenya like nobody else has ever done before, or even to date. And many of those who have taken in this amazing ebook say that they just couldn't stop reading through. Yeah. They just couldn't put it down. Maybe that has a lot to do with some of the mind-boggling information contained in this book. Did you know, for example, that Jomo Kenyatta once confessed in public that he would never, ever touch alcohol again? Many people don't know that, and they don't even know the circumstances. But many of us know that the first president of Kenya, during his presidency, enjoyed the occasional stiff drink, when his health allowed, despite the earlier firm promise he had made in public earlier in his life. And don't even mention the scene painted very clearly in the book, where a small boy shivering because it was raining cats and dogs and carrying a 2-year-old baby on his back arrived at the home of his grandfather, who made some predictions that dominated his life, frustrated him for the rest of his life, until that prediction came true. Or maybe it is because of the picture painted of Daniel Arap Moi, especially during his first cabinet meeting, where it was difficult for him even to look up. And even the other cabinet ministers, some of them who had been harassing him for years, could not look at him straight in the eye. There was so much tension at that cabinet meeting, captured perfectly, accurately in Dark Secrets. It is totally amazing. And there's much more, right up to the Kibaki presidency. Now I have some amazing news for you. This book is available in video format. That is, you don't even have to read it. Many people hate to read. They don't have the time to read. You can take it in as a video. You can take it in as an audiobook. Listen to it right through. And I have an amazing offer for you today. Not only will I send you the ebook in PDF format, you can even print it out as a book and read it. I will also send it to you in video format, so that you can listen to it right through or watch it right through. Amazing, isn't it? But there's more. If you take advantage of this very latest offer of mine, I will give you 6 months membership free to my weekly intelligence briefings. That means if you already have 6 months, I will add you another 6 months on top of what you have, so that you have a whole year to enjoy my weekly intelligence briefings. And by the way, I have quite a number of briefings, jikoni, that I'm preparing, which I'll release in quick succession within the next few days. And those are weekly intelligence briefings you don't want to miss. So don't waste any time. For slightly above $10 for a little money, you can't even go into most restaurants with that kind of money, you'll be able to receive both the PDF format of Dark Secrets of the Kenyan Presidency and the video version. So don't waste any time. You can see the details on your screens right now. Just send a blank email to that email address you see, and you'll receive full payment instructions on what to do. The same payment instructions are repeated in the description area below this video on YouTube. Go for it. This offer is only for a very limited time. So take full advantage of it. And of course, in taking up this offer, you'll also be supporting the work I do on this channel. And if you believe this work is important, then you will be doing something very important in getting hold of Dark Secrets of the Kenyan Presidency. Go for it right away. Asanteni sana for your time. This is your humble servant, Chris Kumekucha. God gives you a gift, it is not for you. It is not for your family. It is for other people. You're supposed to use your gift to change the lives of other people. And for those who seek happiness in this life, nothing will make a human being happier. Trust me, nothing in this world will make a human being happier than the knowledge that they have changed one person's life forever. Yeah? Now, I've been very fortunate to have been very gifted by God. And not only gifted, but also trained in the renowned University of Hard Knocks. Yeah? The harsh university of this life. And I feel very privileged and very humbled, to get to know all the time that I've changed many people's lives forever. I even know a couple of people who no longer come to this channel. Not because they hate me, but because they are busy these days. So busy that they hardly have time, but they've regained their dignity. They're putting food on the table. They're doing a lot of things, amazing things. And all thanks to some books I produced, which you can see on your screens right now, that changed their lives. Not only did they get that idea that changed everything, but they also got the skills to be able to sell without looking like they're selling. Because it's one thing to get a brilliant idea to make money, but it's quite another to do it practically and get people interested and get somebody to actually pay you real money for what it is you're offering. It is also one thing to have a business that is struggling, a business operating way below its true potential. That's one thing. And it's quite another to turn around that business so that it prospers. You have plenty of customers. My sincere hope in making this short clip is to influence and change the lives of many more Kenyans, because that is my mandate. That is what I was born to do. And I felt that this is the perfect time. Many people have been hit very hard by the COVID manenos. Life has become very difficult, almost unbearable for some. Some businesses that were making serious money before Corona are now struggling. Others have shut down completely. There is no better time for these two amazing titles have produced. 101 brilliant business ideas or money-making ideas that will thrive in the country called Kenya and well beyond, almost anywhere in the world. And how to get plenty of customers immediately, very quickly. For only $25, you can have both ebooks, life-changing ebooks. And for only $15, you can have only the ideas. Now you can see details on your screens right now. You will find full payment details in the description area below this video on YouTube. Go for it. I highly recommend it. And I have a suggestion. Maybe you're okay. You're doing okay. I would suggest that you get it for a friend. You get the books for a friend, a relative, or somebody you know who is having it very difficult right now. It'll help them. It'll change their lives. And you'll have helped me to touch one more life, to change one more life, because that is my mission. Asante sana.